What up, God? What up, God? What up, King? What up, King? What's the word? My brother is the key. What up, God? What up, God? What up, King? What up, King? What's the word? My brother is the key.
I really believe in those 4 values that you heard about earlier. That's hip hop, education, social justice, and building community. And I got most of that from my grandmother. My mom in '87, that was the height of the crack cocaine era. She worked her way into MIT and could not finish because she was addicted to drugs and alcohol. My older brother growing up didn't know his dad. I didn't know my dad. My little sister doesn't know her dad. That gap of time is my mom struggling with just her identity and all of the issues that come along with being black in America, being an immigrant in America. I didn't meet my mom until I was 12. Some of y'all are in this situation now, right? So it's like not hard to imagine. My grandmother got diagnosed with diabetes, right? And it was like one of those late stages of diabetes where she couldn't live at home. There was no one to prepare a meal. That left the rest of us in a place where there's no adult in the house. I don't fully understand all of the things that are going on. But as I'm learning this over the next couple of years and just what it means to really make adult choices when you're 13, 14 years old, that's some life-changing stuff. I went to a middle school as a Jesuit independent day school. It was preparing kids who kind of showed promise in their test scores, right? So I was one of those kids who raised his hand often in class. I was the nerd. I was constantly reading. I was rapping and using vocabulary words that I was pulling out of dictionaries. There's something tricky about navigating 2 worlds. W.E.B. Du Bois, he coined the term double consciousness. He said, it is a peculiar sensation, this double consciousness, this sense of always looking at oneself through the eyes of others, of measuring one's soul by the tape of a world that looks on in amused contempt and pity. And what I realized is I'm living that life. All my friends from home are like, oh, you talk white. You're using these words. You think you're better than us. And at school, right, I'm the black kid. You listen to rap. But I had this super strong sense of myself and who I was. And it's because I kind of leaned into writing. It started coming out in my raps. It started coming out in my poems. I went inward when I was facing oppression. Being the first in your family to go to college, the first male in your family to go to college, being from the hood, being black in a predominantly white institution, I thought I was ready to tackle this stuff on my own. But when I encountered challenges that I could not have predicted, you realize that, okay, I'm running into these issues, I'm running into these challenges, but what do I do? I found myself fighting against systems that weren't designed for me to succeed. And even with all those issues, college is probably one of the best times of your life. It's gonna challenge you in ways that you won't expect, and you're gonna learn so much about yourself each and every semester. Things that you think that you value will be tested. I didn't graduate from college, right? That didn't happen for me. That was a choice. While I was in school, I took a course. It was Education for Social and Political Change. It was the first time ever that I had a college professor. He played Lupe Fiasco in class. And we're using Lupe Fiasco to compare and contrast with Jeffrey Canada. So my responses in class, they weren't just coming from textbooks. I was using real life situations to make points. He was like, it seems like the work that you want to do is community work. It's grassroots level organizing. And you can do that with or without this degree. What do you want out of this experience? And for me, that question led me down the path of, I want to serve others. Know what you want and know what you don't. You may not have a major before you go into college, and that's okay. Find the things that you are extremely passionate about. Take college serious and be lighthearted. It's definitely an investment in your future, and you could for sure waste the opportunity by closing yourself off to the networks and opportunities to build community while you're there. While you're doing that kind of work, don't forget to have fun. Let Black Boy Joy be your mantra. You should work really hard, and you should celebrate your accomplishments and the accomplishments of others. Find the right advisor, dean, professors who are willing to engage with you, be a mentor for you. People you may meet in those opportunities can help you with all sorts of things, from like school supplies to future employment opportunities, or even emergency situations where your family isn't able to help you right then and there at that moment. When everything just feels like a failure while you're going through it and you're in the middle of it and it's really challenging, keep going. And know that whatever is meant for you will come your way. But just because something is hard right when you start doesn't mean that you give up. I didn't graduate from college. It didn't break me. It made me work harder. It made me stay later on my job. It made me connect deeper. It made me value opportunities more. And because of my background, I approach challenge differently. We create our own luck. We create our own opportunities. When you're a positive individual, when you are reliable, right, and consistent in your words and in your actions, you're gonna attract the things that you seek when you share that type of intention and energy with others. So yeah, like I've had a 15-year career in education and youth development and no college degree. I knew I wanted to make an impact on kids who look like me, came from the neighborhoods where I came from. So it's not that I couldn't have got there, with a degree or without one, right? It's the relationships, the energy that you put out there, because I very easily could have fallen off at any other point in time, right? So just know that you have that ability as well. And let's start to wrap up. There are doors that are definitely going to be closed that would have been opened before, and there's nothing new about that, right? People have been trying to close the door on me my whole life for being black, for being educated, for being successful in white spaces, for maximizing opportunities, for shining brighter than Ivy League competition, for being hip hop, for breathing. Like, there's nothing new, right? There's nothing new about that. But this is what's next for you too. You can't go in with your guard up, waiting for oppression or these other forces to hit you. Sometimes you're gonna have to attack that. But protect your energy, protect your spirit, find joy along the road of trials, lift each other up, live freely and without fear, because you've arrived and you've been preparing for this moment your whole life.